Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Julie Chan Show, where passion meets purpose. Today, we are here with Marilyn Anderson. So excited to be with this amazing woman who is going to tell us all about tips and tricks for how to live like a millionaire with a million less. And don't we all always talk about more money, more abundance, and living in abundance with more. And we always want more, right, Marilyn? How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thanks for joining. How did this all begin for you? You were working in another line of work. Talk to us about it.
Yes, I was actually a scientist. I have a couple degrees in biology and physiology, and I was working at the National Academy of Sciences in Washington, D.C. And then one day I said, I don't want to do this. I want to be a star. So I quit my job, sold my car, sold my furniture, sold my boyfriend, didn't get much for him. And I moved to New York to become a star. And about a week after I got there, I got into a Broadway show. It was very exciting. I sang.
A week after, from being a scientist, you land on Broadway.
Yes. And then the show ran 8 performances and died, not because I wasn't good, it just wasn't a very good show. And then I started doing stand-up for a while. I used to go on back-to-back with another guy you might not have heard of, Jerry Seinfeld. Wow. So I started at the comic strip at the same time as he did. And then one day I said, I either have to take a vacation or get a job. Let's see, vacation or job. So I took a vacation out to LA and I thought, this is where I need to be. And so that's how it started. And it was actually in LA. I thought I was going to do acting, but I started writing and I got a lot of attention. And that was really where I was meant to be.
And tell us about your first book.
Oh, well, my first book was actually Never Kiss a Frog, A Girl's Guide to Creatures from the Dating Swamp. And it was a dating book. And actually, it was based on my boyfriend at the time. I just took a lot of his flaws and made them into a character. So there was, the first one was the long-term go-nowhere frog. And that was for sure. And then each of the chapters, it's like a collection of stories and illustrations and word warnings. So like for Count Frogula, it's any guy who drains the life out of you sucks. Or for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Toad, it's if he's got a split personality, you should be the one to split. And one of my favorites, of course, is the God Frogger, because his is, if he's a wise guy, be a wise gal. Forget about it.
I love that. Forget about it. That's great. We don't want to forget that one.
But I actually, before I wrote my books, I actually started writing for TV and film. Everybody said, oh, you'll never get a job. I wrote a script and everybody said, you'll never get an agent. You'll never get anything. And I didn't listen to them. And I sent it to like the biggest agency in town and they loved it. And I ended up making some money on it. It got made like 20 years later. It takes a long time sometimes. And then I started writing for TV. I wrote for Murphy Brown. I wrote for Fame. I wrote on a show with Carol Burnett, Jeremy Piven, and Richard Kind called Carol and Company. And I usually write comedy, but I can also kill 6 people an hour. Unfortunately, not the people of my choice. I wrote for Friday the 13th, the series. Oh. And then I wrote and produced a movie a couple years ago called How to Beat a Bully, which is like, it's sort of a Home Alone kind of comedy, but with an anti-bullying theme. So it's a feel-good movie, even though, so many stories of bullying are sad or unhappy. And this is one that promotes the idea it's better to be friends than bullies, right, but it does it in a funny way.
Yes, you bring your comedy to it in all that you do.
Right.
And I think that it's really your fun and your joyfulness that brings you success wherever you go, and very quickly, it sounds.
Well, show business is an up and down thing. You can have something very quick and then you cannot get something for years. And that's one of the reasons I wrote How to Live Like a Millionaire When You're a Million Short. Because as a writer, sometimes you'll get a chunk of money, but then sometimes you can go weeks or months or even years without a paycheck. And I had all these friends who had regular jobs and regular paychecks. And they never did anything. They said, oh, I'm broke. So they didn't travel. They didn't buy things, nothing. And here I was literally without a job, sometimes for years. And I would be traveling around the country and I would be buying things and I would be going to theater every night. And people used to say to me, how does Marilyn live? In fact, the 3 questions of the universe were, what is the meaning of life? Is there a God? And how does Marilyn live? So I decided to reveal my secrets, and that's when I wrote the book, How to Live Like a Millionaire When You're a Million Short.
And it is right behind you in that beautiful poster. And I have the book, and yeah, it's like a Bible for a lot of people. So now give us where did the idea, I mean, I get where the idea came from for you, obviously, because you were living like a millionaire and you were getting all of these things. How were you getting these things? Would you just think about them and they'd appear?
Some of the things, I mean, I have all kinds of tips in there and stories and websites and things, but it's being resourceful too. I mean, like I love theater. Live theater is one of my favorite things, but if you go to New York, or even if you're in LA and you want to go to the Pantages or the Amundsen, you're talking $60 to $100 a ticket. Well, I couldn't do that, but I wanted to go to theater 3 times a week. So there are a couple places in LA, like Sold Out Crowd or Theater Extras, where you join for one small, $99 a year. And then you can go to theaters all over the city for like a $4 service charge. And then there are sites like Gold Star, but there's also rush seats and lotteries. Like in Broadway, Hamilton, tickets for that were like up to $800, $1,000. But they had a lottery where if you were lucky and you won the lottery, you could sit in the front row for $10. And so,
have you done that? Have you won those lotteries?
Absolutely. In fact, the first one of the shows I really wanted to see when it came out was the Book of Mormon. And I went to New York on the red eye, and I went to the theater the next day for their 2:00 show. They had the lottery outside, and a lot of people were in the street, and tickets were like $100 to $200. And they had a bunch of people, and you put your name in a bowl, and they called my name 4th, and I got in for $20 to Book of Mormon front row. Now what's happening with theaters, well, before the pandemic and now hopefully after the pandemic, because they don't want all those people in the streets or gathering, now they do digital lotteries. So you can go online to the show you want to see, and if it had a lottery in New York, it has a lottery when they travel. So you do a digital lottery when the shows come here, and that will include Hamilton and a lot of the other Broadway shows, wherever they are. And you go online and you fill out your name. And as I said, you're lucky and you win the lottery, you win 2 tickets. And of course, when it was in person, it was a little harder in one sense because you had to go down to the theater 2 hours early. But now it's digital, so it's easier to go. But of course, more people are going to enter. So it sort of mixes it out. But there's also rush seats. There's, as I said, in LA and some other cities as well, there's websites. And if you're going to New York, there's all kinds of websites that give discounts. There's also the tickets booth, but you can get codes online for theaters. And there's also some theaters like in LA, there's Actor Gang, which is Tim Robbins Theater. And every Thursday night, they have Pay What You Can. And so you can literally go on a Thursday night, and if it's a $30 show, you can pay $10, you can pay $5, you can pay $1 for your ticket. So these are some of the things I like to do. And of course, when the pandemic happened, you couldn't go to theater. But what happened is you find other things to do. Some things just opened up, and some things were things that were there, but we didn't know about. For instance, if you go on YouTube and put in full Broadway show, there's about 100 Broadway shows that you can watch from the comfort of your living room. And they're literally the Broadway shows. There's
no idea.
There's Legally Blonde, there's Matilda, there's Aladdin, there's Frozen the musical. And do you know how much it would cost to take your kids to Frozen the musical at one of these theaters? Here you can watch it at home. And some of them, like Legally Blonde, even have the lyrics on the screen.
Oh,
so
wow. Just sing along. That's perfect for kids. Perfect for the whole family.
Exactly. So spend a day watching a great musical at home. And they're from Broadway, or some are from London or Chicago theaters. So
You
I
are
love that.
extremely resourceful, and you know all of the tips and tricks and all of the possibilities for Broadway musicals because that is a passion for you. What about shopping? You mentioned getting a dress for $50 instead of 5,000. How do you do that?
Well, of course, there's a place called Rent the Runway.
Yeah.
And Rent the Runway is great because if you're going to a fancy event and you want to look gorgeous, you don't want to spend $2,000 for a dress, but you go to a place like Rent the Runway and you can get to wear a $50 dress, a $5,000 dress or $2,000 dress for $50, wear it, send it back. You don't pay for cleaning. You don't pay for shipping. You just pay the $50. And what I think is great too, now that people are going back to work or to parties or things, is they have a monthly subscription. So you can pay, whether it's $99 or it might be up now to $139 a month. And you can get an unlimited number of dresses. They send you like 3 at a time. You wear them, you send back the ones and then you wear more. And it's a great way. You can like empty your closet and maximize your credit card. And I think it's also a great gift. If you've got a daughter or a granddaughter, give her a gift for this. And she has an unlimited amount of clothes to wear for the year. There's also other places like La Tote and Winnie B. But Rent the Runway is a great place. And then there's a place if you want to buy or sell, make some money. I love to go to the realreal.com.
Yes, have
you know about it. I have sold, like, I had jewelry sitting in my jewelry box since I was 12 years old. You know, my grandparents or my aunts gave it to me, but it was just sitting there. Well, people say, well, it's sentimental. You know what? We have a camera phone, take a picture and take it to the Real. I got thousands of dollars from them. And you can use it either to buy other stuff on there that you like that's brand new to you, but you're getting at a discount, or you can take the money and put it in your purse.
Yes, yes. What are other ways to find money? Get money from the universe.
Well, like I said, I love to go into your closet and come out with cash.
Yes.
and that is, you know, the realreal.com, or you can go to Poshmark, you can go to ThreadUp and sell your stuff. There's also now OfferUp and Nextdoor.com where they have household items that you can sell to people in your local neighborhood. But also, if you want things for free, there's a great group called Buy Nothing. And Buy Nothing is people in your own neighborhoods. If you're on Facebook, go to the Buy Nothing in your neighborhood. And people are giving away incredible things. You know, I got a shirt that still had the price tag on it for $100. I got a piece of artwork for free that I gave to somebody. It was gorgeous. And, you know, you can give things that you don't use too, but it's great. Buy Nothing. So, and also Nextdoor has a free section as well. So you can get things for free. You can give them, or you can sell things on these sites. And a lot of people also, you know, are giving away furniture. And the thing is, you could say, well, it's not the color I like, or it's old and whatever, but you can redo your furniture. You know, I had a roommate who used to put fabric, all different kinds of contrasting fabric on either bookcases or bureaus. And people would see these and they want to buy them. They're like one of a kind pieces. And over the pandemic, I have a girlfriend who painted her sofa. Now, when I say painted her sofa, I don't mean just the wooden part. She painted the fabric part of her sofa. Did you know you could paint a sofa?
No, I want to see what that looks like.
And
that
fabulous.
Rub off?
No. And how do you find out how to do this? Well, go to YouTube. There are all kinds of videos on YouTube. Or if you want to make money, you can teach what you know, whether it's how to build a bench or French or German or whatever, by going to Udemy or to Teachable. So there's all kinds of ways to learn things.
What was the website you said before Teachable?
Udemy, Udemy. Yeah. And did you know that you could go to Harvard or Yale for free? They have well, there's several sites. There's edx.org, or there's classcentral.com or coursera.org. And they literally have thousands of classes from Yale, from Harvard, from universities all over the country, and they're absolutely free. And it can be in all kinds of subjects, whether it's computers or IT or religion or science, and it's free to sign up. Or if you want a certificate, you can pay a little extra. But there's so many things to do. And like I said, a lot of this we learned about during the pandemic, even if it might have been available before. Right. But there are so many things. And of course, TED Talks are great to listen to also. They have all kinds of subjects. So you can really enjoy yourself, even if you're staying home.
I love it. Now let's talk a little bit about travel, because a lot of people are trying to get out now that they've been stuck at home over a year in the pandemic. So how do you get free airline tickets?
Well, complaining. I don't know about free airline tickets, but there's a lot of deals. And of course, if you have a credit card, you can get use your points to get travel and that kind of thing. But there are so many deals coming out now because it's been down. It hasn't been happening. And there's some sites, whether it's Travel Zoo is a site I like, or Scott's Travel. And there are sites also that tell you if you buy a coach ticket, how to go first class, et cetera, et cetera. But actually one of my favorite tips is, it's not about airplanes, but it's about how to spend 6 nights at a 4-star resort in Spain for free. And people didn't believe me when I tell them about this. And I told one of my girlfriends, and she said, "Oh, it's a fake, it's a fake." And then she went and she said she had the best vacation of her entire life. And what this is,
tell us.
It's a place called Vaughantown, and they have 4 different resorts outside of Madrid. And what it is they need native English-speaking people. So people from either the US or Canada or England or South Africa, any place where they speak English. And Vaughantown will bring in like 15 Spanish people, Spanish business people who want to practice their conversational English. And they'll bring in 15 English-speaking people, native English-speaking people, and they'll get breakfast, lunch, dinner, activities, all kinds of things. And all they have to do is like talk and meet with the Spaniards who are there, who the Spaniards pay for it. And you could say, well, oh my God, but I don't speak Spanish. Well, you know what? You're not allowed to speak Spanish. You have to just speak English. And some of the people who've been there love it so much that they've been back 15 times. I have another girlfriend who went, and she went 6 nights to a resort, one of the resorts, and then the next 6 nights to one of the other resorts, because they have 4 different resorts.
And they don't cap how many times you can do this?
You can do it as many times as you want. Now, they don't pay your airfare, but I suggest you use your points for airfare. Or if you're going to Europe, use this at the beginning or end of a trip, and you get a full week. And you find camaraderie, you learn culture, and you have a great time. And all the accommodations, the food, the activities, everything is free. And it's an enriching experience.
Oh, yeah. And it really is about so much more than getting all of that for free. It's about getting to know locals. It's about connection to the Spaniards and to know about the way of life there. And what a rich, rich experience. I mean, how amazing that is that they have chosen to do that. But imagine if everywhere in the world did that.
Well, they do it in other places too. I think Yugoslavia used to do it, and it's in my book. Several of the other places you could do it. There's also Israel has some programs. They have Birthright, where young Jewish people can get a free trip to Israel. Or they have a program. I have friends that went, it's called Honeymoon Israel. And if there's a mixed marriage where one person is Jewish and one person is not, they invite honeymoon couples over there. You don't have to be on your honeymoon. You could just be a married couple. And they give them a trip and they immerse them in the different. So there are different things. And I mentioned a bunch of them in How to Live Like a Millionaire when you're a million short.
Love it. Love it. Everybody needs to get this book. And this is sold on Amazon and your website?
Absolutely. If they go to howtolivelikeamillionaire.us, they'll get directly to it, or through my website, howtolivelikeamillionaire.com.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So great. Oh my gosh. Well, and what about restaurants? People want to get out and go to restaurants.
Yes. Well, restaurants, I have some favorite things also. It's so funny. If you get on restaurants list, I have to tell you this because it's something I just did the other day. If you get on restaurants list, they'll send you emails and they'll send you coupons and stuff like that. But because a lot of the restaurants were closed, I was on this fancy restaurants list. And when they reopened, they sent me an invitation to come to their grand opening. And I brought 3 friends and we could order anything we wanted. They wanted us to have 2 drinks each because they wanted to practice. We had a bill that we didn't have to pay for $400. And it was totally fun. But so I do recommend, if you like a restaurant, get on their list. The other thing I like to say is, of course, Groupons. I use Groupons. I use Living Social. I use restaurant.com. And they all have, discounts for different restaurants. But the secret there is don't just buy them immediately. Wait till they have discounts on their discounts, because Groupons will send you $10 or $30 off today, or they'll send you 20% off. So when you see the sale, stock up on the restaurants that you like. And my other tip is I love to go to happy hours at fancy restaurants, because at places like around the country, like Ruth Chris or Fleming's or any expensive restaurant, for steak there, it will cost you like $50 a person. So you can't get out for less than, $150, $200. Right. But if you go to their happy hours, they have like a steak sandwich, or they have scallops or whatever for $9 a piece. And you still get the ambiance, you get the food, but you don't have to pay the expensive prices. So I love to go to happy hours. That's one of my favorites.
So true. Happy hour is great. And wow, you absolutely know how to live and use all the resources. But that resources is time consuming to look all those things up. I mean, what are your tips and tricks on that?
Well, instead of looking them up, just get the book. They're all in there. And the other, yes.
They're all there. So the chapter by chapter, it's whatever you want, you go find it.
And the thing is, I have rules to live like a millionaire. You asked me about shopping before, and this is whenever you go out, my first rule is ask. I say make an ask of yourself, because by just asking, you can save thousands of dollars every year. For instance, I needed a rug cleaned, and I called up and she said it was $160. I said, what? And I said, well, are you going to have any sales coming up? She said, well, actually, we have a sale now. It's 2 for 1. Well, notice she didn't tell me that before I asked. So, well, I didn't have 2 rugs, but I had a girlfriend. So I hung up and I called girlfriends and said, do you have a rug? And so 2 of us got it for half price. The other thing at Nordstrom's, I was in there was this gorgeous blue cashmere jacket. It was $1,000. I can't get that. So I asked, well, is this ever going to go on sale? And then my second rule is make friends, because I made friends with the sales girl, and she would call me every time it went on sale. So it went on sale. She said, it's only $800 now. Too much. It's only $600 now. Oh, so she called me and she said, there's one left and it's $300. So I went in and I said, well, it's really nice. It fits me perfect. Still a little more than I want to pay. She said, stay here. I'll be right back. She went in the back. She said, I'm going to give you friends and family price, $149. And it's because I asked and I made a friend. So I would go there. She kept calling me like every week or month to tell me what was on sale and how. Well, so I went there several months later. She didn't work there anymore. I wonder if she got fired.
Oh, no.
So maybe she's at Neiman Marcus now. But yeah,
exactly. You'll find her. You'll make another friend.
Another thing that's easy is sometimes fancy stores like Neiman Marcus or Nordstrom, if you go there, they won't have the best sales. But I have found if you sign up for their email list, they have fabulous sales online. I just got a $600 jacket that I wore in my one-woman show. It said $600. I got it at Nordstrom's for $60. Now, you couldn't go to the store and get that sale, but I got it because I found it online. I knew what it cost initially, and I tried it on in the store and knew I couldn't buy it. But then I kept looking for it when the sales happened online. So that's another way to get great sales.
Incredible. You must have a closet full of great deals.
I'm a jacketaholic, so I'm the Imelda Marcos of jackets. I love jackets.
Incredible. So much fun to be with you today. Absolutely love and appreciate all of your tips and tricks. We'll see you at the theater. We'll see you at restaurants, and we'll all be clinking our glasses to all of the great deals we find. Thanks to you. Thank you. Thank you.
I had a great time being with you. Thanks so much.
So good to be with you. And everybody, check out the book, buy it, How to Live Like a Millionaire When You're a Million Short. Marilyn Anderson here today. Thanks for joining us.